Alright, you guys, so if anybody's interested, I know some of you guys have asked me about my build, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how it works and its strengths, its weaknesses, and just give you a rundown on how to play the Timmy Torpedo variant of Dragonfire Pyromancer. Alright, so here the talents that I run are Runic Fluency, Dexterity, and Recovery. These talents are really good because it helps me mostly with mana management. Dexterity really helps me stay off the ground when I need to and get to the high ground, which gives you a very good perspective for hitting fireballs really easily. Runic Fluency is almost something that I can't live without anymore. Having an extra charge not only helps me with my mana management, it also helps me with the mobility that you need in order to stay competitive in Spellbreak. And Recovery just helps me stay aggressive and kite a little bit when I'm in a really hairy situation. I really like to use things like Spring Step, Dash, or Flight to not run away, but keep the person chasing me. Just stay close enough to where they think they're going to catch up to me, while also keeping close enough to where I can attack after my recovery helps me heal back up. So definitely Recovery helps me win a lot of fights where I maybe should have died otherwise. And the reason I don't run Thirsty, it's a very good talent and can be exchanged for Recovery, but I just don't like to loot. I don't like to keep stocking up on potions and stuff and all the time. I just prefer to fight. So that's the reason I don't run Thirsty. And Scavenging can also be something that comes in for Dexterity. However, like I said, I really enjoy Dexterity because of how much mana it allows me to save, and just I've kind of become used to it. So I'm not even sure if I would do as well without Dexterity because I've gotten so much used to the amount of mana that I save from having it on. That being said, the Timmy Torpedo DF variant of Pyromancer specializes in aggressiveness. I like to use things like Flight, I like to use things like Dash and Spring Step to close the gap and get as close as I can to my opponent. But I would say the most important thing about accomplishing that with this build is Firefly. Firefly and your Flame Wall, in my opinion, are the bread and butter of any Pyromancer's build, and this one specifically. And I think one of the most important things, and I think that really separates the good from the great Pyromancer players with this specific build, is being able to use that Firefly multiple times in combat. I think with this specific build of Pyromancer, you actually get punished for not being aggressive. Always be pushing ABP, and just make sure you hit those fire shots. Keep playing Pyromancer. At first, you're going to want to try to use Spring Step and Dash and Flight and anything else you can to stay above so you can shoot downwards. Just easier to hit your opponents. Once you play it for a long time and your body and your brain starts to get used to the projectile speed and you start building in reflexes, then you can start taking more in-air shots, more risky shots. And when you hit those shots, it's so much more punishing for your opponent, so much more rewarding for you. And one of the biggest strengths of Pyromancer that a lot of people probably don't realize is Ignite. And that's kind of why you want to try to hit as many direct shots as possible, because when you hit direct shots like that, you'll notice that they tick damage. The information that you get from having that dot on your opponent is just very strong. You can see where they're going. It gives you like a second or so of knowing where they're going to run to. So it's almost like tracking, but not as strong. So use that to your advantage. Try to hit as many like direct hits as you can to get that Ignite going. Don't beat up on yourself if you don't hit them right away. You just got to get used to it. So I think that's pretty much the rundown for this particular way of playing Pyro. If anybody has any questions, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer those questions and explain the class a little bit further.